What if everything you own is actually holding you back? Emperor ever noticed how a cup is only useful because it's empty? A room is only livable because of the space between walls. Your lungs work because they can be empty. Here's the paradox: emptiness isn't nothing. It's potential. Laozi, the ancient Taoist sage, said it best in the Tao Te Ching, 30 spokes share one hub. It's the empty space that makes the wheel useful. Think about that. The wheel spins because of the hole in the middle. Not the wood. Not the spokes. But the nothingness. We spend our lives collecting money, status, relationships. But Taoism whispers a different truth: what you don't own is more valuable than what you do. Imagine a jar filled with stones. It's full, right? But add sand. Now it's fuller. Add water. Now it's complete. But what if the jar was empty from the start? It could hold anything. Emptiness is freedom. Possession is a cage. You think your house is valuable because of the furniture? No. It's valuable because of the empty rooms. The space where you breathe, laugh, and live. This isn't just philosophy. It's physics. The universe is 99.9% empty space. Atoms are mostly void. You are mostly emptiness. So why do we fear the void? Why do we cling to things that are already gone? Here's the truth: the more you own, the more you are owned. Your possessions possess you. Your goals imprison you. Your identity is a trap. But emptiness? Emptiness is where creation begins. It's the silence before music. The blank canvas. The unspoken word. Taoism teaches, do nothing, and nothing is left undone. That's not laziness. That's alignment with the flow. So stop filling your life with noise. Stop chasing. Start being empty. Because in emptiness, you find everything. The Tao is like a valley. Why does this matter? Because we're drowning in stuff. Statistically, the average American home has 300,000 items. 300,000. That's not a home. That's a warehouse. And what does all that stuff do? It distracts you. It weighs you down. It makes you anxious. Taoism says, he who knows he has enough is rich. But we never think we have enough. We always want more. More money. More followers. More achievements. And the result? We are the most connected generation in history. And the loneliest. We fill our schedules with meetings. Our minds with information. Our hearts with desires. But the Taoist sage Zhuangzi asked, what use is a man who is always full? If your cup is full, you can't receive anything new. If your mind is made up, you can't learn. If your life is cluttered, you can't breathe. Emptiness is not a lack. It's a capacity. Think of a bamboo tree. It's hollow. But it bends in the wind. It doesn't break. We need to be like bamboo. Empty, flexible, alive. Here's another story from Zhuangzi. A man was walking in the mountains. He saw a massive tree. It was twisted, gnarled, useless for timber. The woodcutter ignored it. But the tree lived for centuries. Why? Because it was useless. That's the Taoist secret. What is useless to the world is valuable to the Tao. The tree didn't compete. It didn't try to be useful. It just grew. And in its uselessness, it found immortality. We are so obsessed with being useful, productive, successful. But what if true value comes from being empty? Liezi, another Taoist master, told a story about a man who lost his memory. He forgot everything. His name, his past, his worries. And he became free. He danced without shame. He sang without fear. He lived in the moment. When his memory returned, he became anxious again. What if we need to forget? To empty ourselves of everything we think we know? Taoism teaches, the sage is empty. He mirrors the world. A mirror doesn't hold onto images. It reflects and lets go. We need to be mirrors, not hoarders. So why does emptiness matter? Because it's the only way to be truly alive. To be open to change. To flow with life. Stop filling. Start emptying. Your life will expand. Now let's go to the source. The Tao Te Ching, Chapter 11. Laozi writes, 30 spokes share one hub. It's the empty space that makes the wheel useful. Need clay to make a vessel. It's the empty space that makes the vessel useful. Cut doors and windows for a room. It's the empty space that makes the room useful. Therefore, benefit comes from what is there. Usefulness comes from what is not there. This is shocking. We think value comes from what we can see. The spokes. The clay. The walls. But Laozi says, no. Value comes from the empty space. The nothingness. Let that sink in. Everything you use every day, your phone, your car, your house, they are all defined by emptiness. Your phone has circuits, but it works because of the gaps between them. Your car has an engine, but it moves because of the empty cylinders. Your house has walls, but you live in the space between them. Emptiness is not absence. It's presence. It's the most active thing in the universe. Chuangzi took this further. He said, the perfect man uses his mind like a mirror. It grasps nothing. It refuses nothing. It receives but does not keep. A mirror doesn't hold onto images. It reflects them and moves on. We need to be mirrors, not storage units. Think about your thoughts. You have thousands of thoughts a day. Most of them are useless. Anxiety, regret, worry. What if you could empty your mind? Let thoughts come and go like clouds? That's meditation. That's Taoism. Laozi said, the mind of the sage is like still water. It reflects everything perfectly. But it is not disturbed. Still water is clear. Murky water is confused. We are murky because we hold on to everything. But here's the revelation, emptiness is not passive. It's the source of all action. A wheel turns because of the empty hub. A vessel holds because of the empty cavity. A room lives because of the empty space. Your life works because of empty moments. Pauses. Breaths. Silence. Without emptiness, there is no movement. No change. No life. This is the Tao. The way. It's not a thing. It's the emptiness that makes all things possible. So when you feel empty, don't panic. You're not broken. You're becoming. You're creating space for something new. Let go of the need to be full. Embrace the void. Let's break down what this means for your life. First, your possessions. You think they give you security. But they give you anxiety. Every object you own requires maintenance. Cleaning. Repairing. Insuring. You don't own your house. Your house owns you. Taoism says, those who have little have nothing to fear. Those who have much to fear. Second, your relationships. You cling to people. But clinging suffocates love. A healthy relationship has space. Room to breathe. Room to grow. If you try to hold on to someone, they'll slip away. Like water through your fingers. But if you let them be free, they'll stay. Like the sky stays with the earth. Third, your identity. You think you are your job, your status, your name. But these are just labels. Empty them. Who are you without your title? Without your past? Without your story? That's the real you. The empty self. The Tao self. Liezi told a story about a man who was afraid of ghosts. He thought ghosts would harm him. But a wise person said, ghosts are just shadows. They have no substance. Fear is the only ghost. We are afraid of emptiness. But emptiness is not a ghost. It's freedom. Fourth, your time. You fill every moment with activity. But busyness is a distraction from boredom. And boredom is a doorway to creativity. Empty time is not wasted time. It's the soil where ideas grow. Einstein dreamed up relativity in a daydream. Newton saw gravity in an apple orchard. They were empty. And in that emptiness, they found the universe. Fifth, your mind. You think thinking is the answer. But thinking is the problem. Your mind is a tool. Use it when needed. Then let it rest. A knife that is always sharp becomes dull. A mind that is always thinking becomes tired. Empty your mind. Let it be still. In stillness, you find clarity. In clarity, you find wisdom. So break down the meaning. Emptiness is not a void to be filled. It's a space to be lived. You don't need to add more to your life. You need to subtract. Remove the clutter. Remove the noise. Remove the fear. What's left is the Tao. And the Tao is enough. Laozi said, to attain knowledge, add something every day. To attain wisdom, remove something every day. You've been adding your whole life. Now it's time to remove. Start with one thing. One possession. One thought. One habit. Let it go. Let's see this in real life. Think about Steve Jobs. He was a Taoist at heart. He practiced Zen Buddhism. He lived in a nearly empty house. He wore the same clothes every day. Why? Because he knew that emptiness fuels creativity. His office had no furniture. Just a cushion. He said, I want to be able to think clearly. And he did. He created the iPhone. A device that is all about empty space. The screen is a window. The interface is minimal. Jobs understood that less is more. Or think about Marie Kondo. She's a modern Taoist. She says, keep only what sparks joy. But Taoism goes deeper. It says, keep only what is empty. Because emptiness sparks life. Look at nature. A river is powerful because it flows. It doesn't hold on to water. It gives it away. A tree is strong because it bends. It doesn't resist the wind. It yields. A bird doesn't own the sky. It flies through it. We need to be like that. Here's another example. The most innovative companies have empty spaces. Google has nap pods. Apple has open atriums. They know that creativity comes from emptiness. Not from cramming. On a personal level, have you ever had a breakthrough in the shower? Or while walking? Or just before sleep? That's because your mind was empty. You weren't trying. You were open. Now think about your daily life. You check your phone 100 times a day. You scroll through feeds. You fill every second with input. But what if you had empty hours? No phone. No TV. No conversation. Just you and the silence. Would you panic? Or would you find peace? Most people panic. But that's because they've forgotten how to be empty. Start small. Take 5 minutes a day to sit in silence. No agenda. No goal. Just breathe. Feel the emptiness. It's not scary. It's home. Zhuangzi said, the fish forget each other in the river. People forget each other in the Tao. When you are empty, you forget your ego. You forget your problems. You forget time. And in that forgetting, you find yourself. Real-world example, the Japanese concept of ma, negative space. In architecture, music, and art, ma is the empty interval that gives meaning. A painting is beautiful because of the blank areas. A song is powerful because of the silence between notes. A conversation is deep because of the pauses. Emptiness is not nothing. It's the rhythm of life. So embrace emptiness. Let go of the need to fill. And watch your life transform. So here's your takeaway. You've been taught to fill your life. To accumulate. To achieve. To hold on. But Taoism says, let go. Emptiness is not a weakness. It's your greatest strength. When you are empty, you are flexible. You can adapt to any situation. You are not broken by loss. You are not attached to outcomes. When you are empty, you are open. You can learn. You can grow. You can receive the gifts of the universe. When you are empty, you are powerful. Not because you have more, but because you need less. Laozi said, the softest thing in the world overcomes the hardest. Emptiness overcomes fullness. Water is soft, but it cuts through rock. Emptiness is invisible, but it shapes the world. Your life is a vessel. What are you filling it with? If you fill it with stuff, you are heavy. If you fill it with desires, you are restless. If you fill it with fears, you are trapped. But if you keep it empty, you are free. Here's a practice. Every day, ask yourself, what can I let go of today? One thought. One possession. One commitment. Let it go. And feel the space. That space is the Tao. And the Tao is all you need. Another practice, when you feel anxious, breathe. Focus on the empty space in your lungs. Feel the air leave. Feel the emptiness. In that emptiness, there is peace. Zhuangzi told a story about a butcher. His knife never dulled. Because he cut through the empty spaces between bones. He didn't force anything. We need to be like that butcher. Move through life with ease. Find the empty spaces. Don't force. Don't fight. Flow. Your takeaway is simple, stop trying to be full. Start being empty. Empty your home. Empty your schedule. Empty your mind. And in that emptiness, you will find everything you ever needed. Love without possession. Success without stress. Life without fear. This is the Tao. This is wisdom. This is freedom. So here's the MIC drop, the most valuable thing you own is what you don't own. The empty space. Now go live it. Thanks for watching. If this resonated, like and subscribe. And remember, the Tao is always with you. Especially in the empty moments. Be empty.